Hey guys, welcome to J&J Live. I'm your host, Jefferson Shill. You know my partner.
I'm Jared Jenkins. What's up?
Today we're with Tony Vida, our IT Help Desk Manager. Right, Tony?
Yes.
Can you do a quick introduction of yourself real quick?
My name's Tony Vida. I've worked at Lifesize for 10 years. I'm the Senior IT Help Desk Manager here.
Awesome.
And, great company to be at.
He's the most valuable man in our entire company. When something crashes or something happens, he's the first person to come help us out. So thank you for all that.
Yeah, really excited to go in-house this time. You're actually our first in-house guest. So every other one has been over video, but really excited to all be in the same room.
That's right.
Well, just say, first of all, there's a whole team of us in IT. You might talk to me, but sometimes,
Sure.
But I also got to say it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So,
We wanted to bring Tony in specifically to talk about, how to best practices on how to break through the IT admin, IT leader, to have that conversation. So I think let's get straight into it. First of all, I'm just curious, how many emails do you get a day that you just delete instantly without even reading?
Probably at least a couple dozen, especially because, I've been here for a while and I've had the same email address long enough that I feel like my name's on a lot of contact lists out there. So throughout the day, I'm constantly being reached out to. So unless an email really has a title or something that I already have in my mind, I'm looking for this solution, I'm very interested in cloud PBX for some reason. Unless, it happens to coincidentally be something I'm already looking for on my own, I don't ever really read them at all. As soon as I can tell, this is a generic template or, this title is something generic, I'm gone.
Yeah, Jared and I we both have teams where we're constantly trying to reach out to the IT person, try to get through the gatekeeper, just to speak to you and have a conversation with you. What would capture your attention in an email? I know you said,
In an email. For email, like I said, especially because I just get
so many.
Not to exaggerate, but I get at least 100, probably closer to 200 emails a day, especially just because of our ticketing system, the way it works, it throws a whole lot of stuff at us, even if it doesn't necessarily concern me. So going through stuff, I've just got to, when I'm at my desk, I'm I got to get through all this. And I'm not trying to I recognize that there's someone behind that email, and I'm not trying to belittle them or I'm so important, you're not even worth my time. But that's not it at all. But at the end of the day, I just have a lot of stuff to sift through, and I can tell, it's this guy's trying to sell me on some security thing that maybe it's a great tool, but it doesn't have my attention right now. And it's not something I'm consciously looking for. I guess the shorter the email, really, the more of a chance straight to the point. Because if I've got something that's a page long, I'm I don't want to read this.
So it seems like most of the time it's kind of more about coincidence or what we're researching at the time, and then someone reaches out to me because we're actually researching.
At least for me, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of people that could tell you different, and there's no way for you to plan for coincidence, but I can tell you, generic, and I can't think of a good example. I probably should have looked a few things up, but I know when it's just checking in or reaching back to you or
you can always tell.
And I'm sure there's a couple titles out there that I've been I know that this is something, but for whatever reason it got my attention. But like I said, shorter to the point, you have more of a chance because like I said, if it's something huge and here, I've also attached some white papers for you to look over. It's I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. Unless I happen to be researching that specific thing. But
I know Jared and myself, we're always trying to reach people at a specific time and day. Is there a time that you're always at your desk? Because I know you run throughout the day.
Right. There isn't really a specific time where I am at my desk. I'm going to be. I mean, I'll say when I get in the morning, if someone for some reason isn't like, oh, I just got in too, and this is broken, I need your immediate attention, I'll sit there and I'll go through my emails. And that's probably one of the better times of the day, I guess. And at least for me, towards the end of the day. Right. And my lunch time is usually a little, not all the time, but it's kind of staggered from other people. Lunchtime isn't a great time to reach me, but if I am here at the building, most everyone else is not. So they're not asking for me to run around, which means if I am taking a later lunch or I took an earlier lunch for some reason, I will be at my desk.
I know sometimes it depends on the industry, it depends on the company, what the needs are. Some companies, they are in the fire at the beginning of the day, or sometimes, he might have a break at lunch. I know from my team, we've experimented with different things. First thing in the morning and kind of closer to the end of the day, like you were saying, is when people are, they're just getting in, they're checking their emails, and at the end of the day, we might catch them on the phone right before they walk out the door. So that's one thing we find, but like I said, it varies from industry to industry. Once we do get you on the phone, I know you mentioned already that a lot of times it has more to do with coincidence, but are there some things that catch you better than others? You can probably tell when someone's pitching you or reading a script.
Right, for sure. And if someone is, don't get me wrong, there's a difference between I'm going to rehearse what I'm going to say, but it feels natural, versus I know this person is reading this. That's an instant throw off. Or someone something that they've tried to use on me, or that I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, it's not a conspiracy or anything, but I've gotten calls where people ask, hey, I just want to confirm, this, and I'm I'm not, I know I don't know you, I did
not confirm that.
Yeah, I'm just I'm sorry, I'm not interested. One of the guys on my team, he laughs just because he hears me all day long, just no thank you, I'm not interested, no thank you, I'm not interested, and he's he laughs at how many calls I get, but
so it sounds like even from phone calls, emails, a lot of just coincidence catching at the right time.
Yes, but I will say you have a better chance of getting my attention, and for me talking to you. I've even there's been times where I know this is a sales pitch, but this person is unusually nice. I will sit there and be I will at least give you 2 minutes to give me your spiel, and so. Being nice, sounding natural. If there's times where I pick up the phone and it takes a few seconds, it's dead silence, and then I can hear oh, the line picked up, and I can hear background chatter. I'm this is definitely a call center. And then someone starts talking to me, and I'm no, I know I'm just on your auto rotation queue or whatever. And I'm not trying to say if you're in a call center, good luck, but that's just me. Yeah,
no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's one thing to research as a company too. Is if that's what people are hearing when we call, and they're automatically going to know and then hang up, then maybe we should go with a different service. Right. If you gotta wait 3 seconds and then hear someone say, "Hi, Tony, this is Jared from Lifesize." Yeah, because it's automatically a turn off immediately.
There are times where I have to introduce, because I answer my phone, I just say my name. I'm hello, Tony Vida, and I'll hear dead silence, and I'm hello, and then it'll be this weird kind of I'm in the wave, I'm saying hello again, and then they pick up, and I'm okay, well, I'm going to say hello again, and then hey, blah, 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 blah. No, thank you, I'm not interested. It's a very... It starts the conversation off on the wrong foot. Even if you did have the opportunity of oh, coincidentally, you're selling the thing I need. You just blew it. Because now, the conversation starts off wrong.
Yeah.
When is too much, too many phone calls, too many emails, when does it get too much? When does it become frustrating, a nuisance?
Here's the problem, is that I probably don't get... There's not a whole lot of email chains where I see, after 3, I've had people send me an email, and then they reply to that chain, and then they reply to that chain again.
So that secret no longer works then, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, I guess, like, good for you and your persistence.
Right.
And I'm skimming the email enough to see that, like, man, 3 times. And I guess, there's something might be able to be said to that, because I skimmed the email to look. I know that, like, oh, look, you tried this many times.
Right.
So maybe that is, like, they got my attention in that way, but I'm not really replying, or, maybe there's something to that, but I would say definitely after 3 times, like, I'm like, go away. Yeah. But also part of the thing is like, I don't necessarily get frustrated or, with any particular person most of the time. I have before. There's been some really, really persistent people that, to the point where I was like, I do not want your product. Like, I've sat with you and, like, you were persistent enough that I gave you the 15 minutes to try and sell me. I have explained why I don't want this. They have then gone around me to my boss or even my boss's boss, and they've come back and told me, this sounds like a pretty good deal. You should, like, you should talk to this guy. He says he could save us money. And I then have to go, and then before I could tell the sales guy, I don't want the service. I know it's not right for us. Then I have to generate hard facts to prove to my boss or boss's boss, like, here is why I told this guy to go away.
So now the salesperson making you do work.
It's work that I don't necessarily.
That's no good.
I'm not saying, like, I don't need to be doing work, but, like, I was like, dude, I told you already. Even if, like, somehow I got painted into a corner and it's like, we're buying this. That's not going to be a great relation. Like, I'm gonna remember that. Like, you're the guy that went around my back. Like, and maybe that works for some people, but I remember even telling other people, like, in IT, like, I was like, this guy went around and called Bill, our CFO. I was like, yeah, and Bill was like, this guy sounds like he saves money. Like, and I was like, fine. Like, here's the data behind it now. And the other people in IT were like, oh, man, that guy, like, that's wild.
No.
Yeah. I know I've had situations where, let's say I send 4 emails, and on the 4th one, I'll either get a person that says, hey, if I didn't respond to the first one, you should have got the hint. Or I get one, it's rare, but I'll get the guy who says, I've been so busy, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you before, but I've just been crazy caught up. So then from there, all right, okay, let's have a call up. Let's send 4 more emails after that. For you, what do you think is the best way to go about kind of getting people off of your back who are really, is it just straight up like, I got to be honest with you, this is not it? Because I'd rather get a hard no than someone keep.
Well, here's the thing, is that I don't tell them no, like, not on email, because I'm afraid that they'll flag me as, like, that I'd rather have them, and this is just from my defensive standpoint, because I feel like, and I'm sure not everyone does this, and maybe this is me being wacky IT conspiracy guy or something, but I feel like they might be like, there's a person behind this email. We know that he not only is receiving this email, he's reading it to the point where he came back and told us no. So even, like, some marketing company might be like, this is a live one. If we sell this list,
it's a real person.
We can say we got it now.
We'll put them on a nurture camp.
Exactly. So, like, that's why I'm like, no communication.
That is kind of IT conspiracy.
Yeah.
I think that actually happens.
And like, someone told me that one time, like, they told me something, and it could be all lies, but I'm just, who knows? Someone was like, yeah, like, if you hit unsubscribe on, like, an email list, sure, they might take you out of that one, but then they got someone. Exactly. I'm going to sell that email, because they can, hey, on this date, someone came and told us not to send anything. We know that he reads his email to the point where he's going to reply. Like, so I don't respond. And if it really did bother me enough, I'd just put a rule and flag it, like, go to trash.
Yep.
Like,
one of the things, Tony, just to transition a little bit, one of the things Jared's team does really well is they put these campaigns together. Maybe you could talk more about your gift campaigns.
Yeah, we like to send gifts to people to kind of incentivize them to have a call with us. It's not so always, money, sending gift cards. I don't really like paying people just to talk with us. But I wanted to see what kind of, carries better with you. Is it something that's more usable, like a mug or socks, or even like a USB drive? Or, sometimes people send, flowers and liquor or chocolate, things like that. And, things that you're going to use one time and it's going to be done and you never see again. Right. A mug, it says Lifesize, it sits on your desk. Right. What are some of the things that you received that you're like, okay, I'll take the call?
Someone got, and I don't expect, I'm not saying this is what you guys
pay attention closely, people.
No, because I don't think people have the budget for this. Someone sent me a card, and they're like, what they sent me was a remote to an Apple TV. They're like, here you go. They're like, you want the Apple TV to go to remote? Like, sign up for a meeting. And I was like, I sat on it. I was like, man, this is this is too good to be true. And I was like, I'm going to call them. And I called them, and I was like, let me get this straight. I don't have to sign up for any services. I meet with you, you're going to hand me an Apple TV, we have a meeting, and then however it goes, we're good. Right. And they were like, yep. And I was like, okay, sign me up.
2:30.
Yep. And they came, we met, gave me my Apple TV. And I was honest, at that point I was like, these people have put in enough effort. I'm going to honestly consider what they're saying. I went back with the solution, talked it over with the team. It was like, no, it's not really a great fit for us. It was, if I remember correctly, they were reselling data, to the building. And in theory, it's like, yeah, we could cancel our contract and shift everything over. But the amount of man hours that's required to do that is don't get me wrong, we'll do that, but not if it's we're not getting a huge benefit here. Right. So,
but there's still a name that's in your mind now. They were confident in their pitch, and they had a foot in the door.
And I remember to the point of right now, those people will probably be in my memory a long time. But I don't.
We talked about SHI too coming over with kolaches one time.
Yeah, actually, they're right next door.
Right.
And the guy just came over, and he was like, I just wanted to introduce myself. I think we talked. He came and was like, I just want to talk to you for 5 minutes. He was at the front desk. I was like, fine, I'll go talk to you. Chatted with him. He's like, I just want to set a meeting, a small meeting, 20 minutes, whatever, next week. Sure, okay, fine. Okay, you're a nice enough guy. Let's do it. And then, a couple days later, front desk calls me. They're like, hey, there's some kolaches here for you, whatever, and had his card. And I was like, sweet. All right. And, actually, it started a really good relationship. We were buying, back then, we were buying a lot of stuff from them. And, every month or every 6 weeks or something, just drop off some kolaches. We would chit chat. I really liked the guy. Honestly, to this day, that guy fostered. He did it. He was smooth enough and did all the right things, and caught me at the right time. That I was like, I don't care who's at the front desk. I just don't have the time right now.
I think food would win over anyone for the most part. But when you're in person or nearby, it's easy to do that.
Yeah.
But to your point, a cool trendy technology might be something to catch your attention more so than a coffee mug or.
I don't really receive a lot of objects just out of the blue. I've received a plant before, and I was like, "Do you want this?
I gotta want this now."
Yeah, I was like, "I don't want this thing." I've probably gotten coffee mugs. Vendors have called me. I'm like, "Hey, you want to have coffee? I'll give you a coffee mug or something." I'm like, I mean, I don't I'm not the kind of person that I'm a $3 coffee mug with your company's logos. If I want a coffee mug, I'm gonna have Boba Fett or something that on it. Not to I'm not
sure.
There's it's gonna have to be something that I'd rather have a USB drive, like you were saying. At least that's something that's useful. I don't care what it looks like. It's something I will use. More than likely I'll use that. I would say. Even if it's a little 2 gigabyte drive, which are cheap nowadays, cheap. I would rather have that than a coffee mug. Because even you give me 10 USB drives, 10 coffee mugs. I don't need 10 coffee mugs.
Right.
10 USB drives. I could use 10 USB drives like that.
Yeah,
It seems like what we've run into mostly is someone who's genuine, just like you can tell they're a generally nice person.
Yeah.
They know their pitch, but they're not reading it. And they know you, so they know that you'd rather like a USB drive than a coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I would say I would guess most IT guys, but maybe there's like the IT coffee mug out there. Like, I love these.
Give me the coffee.
I need these
I
coffee
need some
mugs.
coffee. Okay.
I got one question for me left at least. So my team does renewals. What is a good cadence for? So when you buy technology, when should a renewals team get back in touch with you to secure that renewal? What does it take to secure the renewal? I know the technology has to work.
Yeah. So I would say like leaning it to like the last month or something is kind of dangerous,
Right.
because at that point, if there's something wrong with it, it's too late to fix. And I've already been planning like, I cannot wait to get rid of you.
Cut it.
Like, yeah. The only way, like, if I felt wronged by X company or something where we were going to renew, I would have to feel like handcuffed. Like, I have no other choice.
Right.
Like, we're going to renew, you win this round.
Right. So a regular cadence, maybe every couple months, touching base, making sure there's not a lot of support tickets out.
Yeah, maybe like if there's support tickets. I don't know if you all have you can view usage, but like checking to see are these people actually using the product?
Right.
Like, and I would say at least once a quarter or maybe at least 6 months out from the renewal.
Start having a conversation.
Yeah, at least start then. 3 months after they buy it, whatever. But it definitely, like, let's say it's a year-long renewal, 6 months, like, definitely. But if it's something like a much longer-term contract, like if we signed on for 3 years for some reason, and, you notice 6 months in, they're not using it at all. I mean, that would be warning bells. Like, if we bought something that, like, for 3 years and after 6 months we weren't using it, I would question, why did we buy this? And why did we sign on for 3 years?
Right.
So.
Perfect.
But something I wanted to jump back to if I could.
Please.
You all had said, we kind of went off on some tangent. I probably did. Was that I usually don't get frustrated with a particular person per se. It's that in my day I will get, today by chance I haven't received that I can remember. I got a call where like I picked up and then it just hung up. But sometimes I'll get no calls. Sometimes I'll get a dozen calls like in a day, But it's not the same person. So it's just the whole.
Yeah.
And like I said, my phone number's out there, I'm sure, and I'm on probably a bunch of different lists. So, I mean, once or twice, maybe 3 times. I think after 3, I'm just like, go away. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tony, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's nice to have 3 people with great long hair on one webcast. So I appreciate that.
Long hair, don't care.
The J&J Live, I'm Jefferson, Jared, Tony. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below if you want to learn something new next week. We're happy to get a guest on and put out a topic that you're interested in learning about.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Hey, thanks again, everyone. Once again, that was Tony Vida. He's the man, and he's our IT guy. What I can basically summarize is be genuine. I got 2 guys that I have on the phone. One of them is very much the stick-to-the-script guy. He's got his head down. He knows exactly what he's going to say before he calls. And the other one, he's gonna call you dude. He's gonna call you man. He's gonna say what's up, bro. He's more personal, and he really tries to get to know the person. And his conversations are actually really effective, and he gets to the IT person, and they feel like he knows him. So be genuine, even in the gifts you send. Tony doesn't care about coffee mugs.
Yeah.
All right.
He likes his liquor, too.
He likes his liquor.
His USB drive.
And his USB drive. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Until then, we live, baby.